founder of Nkositalkshows. So today I have Shireen and Brenda and Kamal. I'm going to let our experts introduce themselves so also they can lay out their professional credentials, expertise. Over to you, Shireen, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Nomsa. Hello, everybody, wherever you are. I'm Sharon Lovegrove, and I help women with imposter syndrome who self-sabotage, sophisticatedly hide, and procrastinate. And what I do is I help them to step into their sovereign self so that they can have a lifestyle that's healthy, happy, fun, and divine.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Brenda. Introduce yourself to our audience, please.
So hello everyone, my name is Brenda Dempsey. I'm a publisher, author, coach, educator, and I help people bring their genius through a book and to the world so that they can grow their business, whatever that may be. I coach them along writing their books, how to structure their books, and also most importantly, beyond your book, which is all about how do you bring your book to market? How do you make it a bestseller? How do you sell your book, raise your profile, and just make a great impact on the world? So that's who I am. I've got 25 years experience in education. I've been in business and coaching for at least 10 years. And I just bring my whole education of life to the table, my intuition and all the learning that I have gained and gathered over the last 6 decades.
Thank you so much, Brenda. Over to you, Kamal. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Nomsa, Shireen, and Brenda. Welcome everybody watching or whoever's going to watch later on. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. My name is Kamal Amer. I am part of Nomsa's team. I am the head of coaches for Nkositalkshows. Besides that, I am an NLP, a certified NLP trainer, master practitioner, a hypnotherapist, as well as a certified life purpose specialist. Now, what I do is I find pleasure in helping people uncover their purposes in life. And we do that by using ancient Egyptian methodology as well as NLP. And we sum all of that together, put it in a nice bowl of salad, and we bring it into the modern world to make it achievable for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kamal. So our topic today is how love can help you structure your business and grow. So Shireen, you chose this topic. I don't know whether it was you or Brenda. So I'm gonna start with you. What does the topic mean? And what made you choose the topic basically? Because you made me change everything last minute. And when I actually read your topic, I was like, I love her topic, so I'm not gonna argue with her. So she has a point.
Thank you, Nomsa. I mean, I know that you're a relationship coach, so this was definitely something that's close to your heart. But this was actually kind of, I had a discussion with Brenda, really, and she said, oh, well, you're there and I'm there. And I said, well, what I've been focusing on this week is love. And as you all know, my name is Lovegrove, and there's something very important that's been going on around me, and we had Valentine's Day. And I had 2 conversations with people where I realized there was another depth or another level on how we love. And what does that do is the resonance frequency for us. How does that shift and change the way we are in the world and the way we do things? And what was really part of what came into this being was a mystical experience that I had where I was kind of told, you are God. And I said, yes. And that would make me God, you know, if you said, I'm creator creation. And it said, yes. And so is everybody else. So part of the real learning, we've got the 6,000 years where people seem to be evolving and changing and moving. We're now moving to the state of realizing that we are our own creators. We are the manifestation or the unique aspect of God in our own unique genius. So what really then started to come into play was what's so important about love as a way of, as a mechanism for moving forward. And I was talking about something called an extraordinary love, and realizing it was basically an idea through unrequited love. But the lesson behind that, everything is a gift. And the gift was to recognize that this was my, when I had this moment of unrequited love about 30 years ago, I realized in that moment that it was not about loving somebody else. It was about learning how to love myself. And by doing that, if I learn to love myself and every aspect of myself, all of a sudden it starts to make sense. Why would we want to love business? So if we have a business, this is the busyness of being. Yeah. And for me, if we love our child, or a lot of people don't really love themselves and love something so desperately, you'll get up in the morning, you'll get up and go and do what you need to do. You will do it no matter what, even if you feel you won't let go of that responsibility. So for me, the idea came that if you love your business in the same way that you love yourself and say somebody else that you love deeply, then it's going to make it a success, because you are going to commit in the way that you would commit to someone you love.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sharina. You make a point that you have to have passion for your business because you love yourself. When you love yourself, you don't want to get hurt. So you are careful of who is entering your life. You are careful of the things around you, with your surrounding, your environment. So it's the same way with the business. So now, Brenda, Sharina, she's putting all these points. So how do I actually have this mindset of loving my business and finding my why? Or is it finding your why important, or is it not important?
Absolutely. And do you mind read? Because I'm sitting here thinking, how do I lead on from what Shireen is saying? So I'd just like to start with concurring with what she said, in as much as, when I work with anyone, leaders, anyone who's wanting to write a book, business owners, we start at a point that they don't even think. They might come for some business mentoring or book writing or whatever, but we always start off with them. Where are they at, and what do they think about themselves and value? So when we start stripping everything away and going deep into the soul and looking at what the value is, what their values are, and what is non-negotiable in their life, we bring things from the subconscious mind into the conscious mind, because many people make decisions, but they're not overtly or consciously aware of that value as to why they've made that decision. But when you are overtly aware of your values, then your decisions become more conscious. You have that self-awareness, and therefore every time you're faced with a challenge, or every time someone asks you a question, you can give an answer that's absolutely connected 100% to the value, so who you are. And so for me, you brought in mindset, which is great because I love mindset, NLP. So I'm right there with you, Kamal. So in terms of, for me, it's like a figure of 8 that goes within us. It's mind, it's heart and soul. So therefore it's a oneness, so it's a trinity. All three make up one, and you need to have all these parts flowing in absolute harmony. So when you start to look at yourself and do the work on yourself and love yourself, then we are beginning to open up our minds, our hearts and soul to something bigger, to the why am I here on this earth? What is the purpose? And I love helping people with their purpose. Some people think their purpose is A, and they set out on a path and they do all this work, but they keep coming up against brick walls and they just don't get through the glass ceilings. But then when we have conversations and we strip everything back right to their being, and the conversation just has so many light bulb moments, is particularly around the vision and the values and the mission, then they have the aha moment. And usually as well, stories part of that, because it's who you are. So you bring out, so maybe there's been some adversity in that. And when you strip everything back of their story and go to their adversity, it reveals the light and the purpose of their life. I'm not saying that only adversity does it, but adversity always does it. So that's what I'm saying about adversity. So then once it's revealed, your mindset then starts to connect and you become more open. You have a growth mindset. You're optimistic. You know why you need to do it. When you've worked on that mission with the why and the purpose, then it isn't a job. It becomes a way of life. So from loving yourself, you automatically find the purpose. The purpose creates your why in life. It creates your business. It creates your way of life. So everything just becomes a beautiful way to live. You are in a higher state of flow. Now, with love, I love Dr. David Hawkins' work, Map of Consciousness. So love vibrates at the frequency of 400. And unconditional of 500. Wait a minute, just double check. Sorry,
528.
500, and unconditional love is 540. Now, so when we can make the jump to unconditional love, your life will change. You step into joy, you step into peace, and then enlightenment. So when you have great awareness of all of these things through reading, through listening to shows like this, through talking to people, through having coaches, working with energy healers, then you just open up so many doors of possibility, and you just love and your business are intertwined.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brenda. I like the way you say how you love your business, how you stick to the business, but then you touch the purpose, which I'm going to ask Kamal. How do you find your purpose, Kamal? Because if you love something, like myself, when I started the Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency, there are some people that I went to business events and I met them and find out what they do. What I thought what they do was really, really amazing. But now when I start getting in touch with them, I think they've created 3 businesses and they've left them behind. So how do you find your purpose and stick to it, glue, like Brenda was saying? And I also I was listening to, is it Danny? Is that one of the billionaires? He says, successful people do not run from pain. When you fail, you stick to that. So Kamal, I need you to get in deep into this.
Okay, I'll get in deep into this. I will just do a slight correction for my opinion, not your opinion or not anybody else's. I don't believe we have one purpose. I believe we have several purposes. In different areas of our life, and even in our career, our purpose can change throughout the years. So based on that, and you were talking about finding that stick to your purpose and all of that, I will share something very short before I continue, because that's very important. Now, I got a few messages that were a little bit unsettling, and I was very close to not attending today. And I was reminded by this wonderful, very special lady in my life. And she told me, Kamal, this is what you do. This is who you are. Why are you running away? And I said, I'm not running away. She said, well, then get there, go log on and do it. And that just clicked with me. And it reminded me that, you know what, this is part of my purpose. It is written in my purpose as one of my protocols in life. It's something that I learned from my mentor, right? To create a protocol for your life. What do you want to create in this world? What do you want to do in this world? Not only for yourself, but for the world and people first before yourself. However, it's all entwined with each other, like Brenda was saying. They all come together at a certain point. Finding your purpose in life is about exploring who you are. I've said it many times, Nadia has mentioned it, and I'm pretty sure we will keep on mentioning it till forever. We have been, or people have been, conditioned to think, to act, and to live a life that does not belong to them, by their parents, by their families, by their teachers and professors, and society. And a lot of people don't find purpose or don't know what their purpose is because they don't know who they are. They don't know their values or their core values. They don't understand their beliefs and why they are limited by some of their beliefs. They don't understand their safety or their psychological safety, which actually is a limiting safety zone. And so you need to explore these areas first. You need to explore, what are you passionate about? What are your talents? What are the skills that you have used previously and that you have now and that you want to use in the future? And once you have explored all of that and you know who's influenced you in your life, why they've influenced you like that, what changes you want to make in the world, then you can start digging deeper into finding or creating that protocol. And this is part of the program that I've made, which is you find that protocol, that center, that core protocol for your life. And from that core protocol, you spread it out to all the areas of your life. And that, for instance, I wouldn't have been able to achieve that without the help and the teaching of my mentor. And that's how you spread it out. You spread it out onto your relationships, your family, your business, your social life, your health life. Because once you have that core protocol, that core value, if you will, it's greater than the value, or mission, if you will. You know how to use that for every single part of your life. And that's how you start thinking about what is your purpose and how you want to change the purposes of your life and stick to them, actually, and be able to move it forward. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kamau. I'm glad that you came today to our live, and we get to spend time with you. So I'm gonna share you guys with how I found my purpose. You know, when I was young, I love music. I love sports. So when I sat down creating Nkositalkshows, I was like, okay, love is what I do. I'm a love harmonist, is what I do. And then I was like, what do I do? Okay, I'm gonna go on social media. I'm gonna bring all these speakers from all walks of life. They're gonna teach people, because where I come from, I'm gonna be honest with you. If somebody get to watch a video like this, to them, it's like winning a lottery. When you guys have no idea what you are doing on social media. There are some countries where this kind of information people don't get to see it. So when they come across with this information, to them, it's a jackpot, it's winning the lottery, because that information, it can help them actually build their future. If I meet Kamau, Brenda, and Shireen on this video, and they are saying something value, and I decided to follow you guys every single day, let's say I'm in Africa, I can become who I want to be, because you guys are teaching me to do something, to become something. So I was like, okay, but if I bring Reality 7, they are musician, I'm into music as well. What a good idea for me to travel with these guys and travel with my speakers. So I'm revealing a little bit of my secret with my purpose. Travel with these guys. The speakers can deliver, help people, because Nkositalkshows is not for a job. They can deliver in the day, help people, empower people. In the night, concert with the Reality, maybe with somebody else, I don't know. So that is my purpose. That is what Reality 7 we're here for. So that is the secret that I have to tell you guys, that you guys are gonna have to be creative, because you're gonna have to impact lots of people around the world. That is my purpose, and that's my plan. And you guys are loving it, Shireen. Why is love so important in business?
So, so there are a couple of things, and I love that Kamal said that they have many purposes, and I think that we have many ways of being in our life, which then means that we do have different purposes. But actually, if you look at how we move through our life, at the end of our life, generally we've cleared away all the stuff, and we start to really find out who we are and start to be more accepting of who we are. Wouldn't it be great if we knew that right the way from the very beginning, which we know as a child? We already are sovereign as a child. We already know that we're the gift that is here for the world. And then crap happens, basically, you know, society, family, all sorts of things. If we don't have a surround that allows us to grow into who we should be becoming, which is really about this manifestation of what we were born with. That's that absolute aspect of spirit. And so when we truly connect with the purpose, we have many purposes, but the thing is, there will be a thread through each of those purposes, which will be that core, which will be the core of who and how you operate in the world. And I know that I had my mystical experience while I was doing my master practitioner in NLP. And I certainly know that it was because I was doing a lot of inner work at the time that I then connected to this aspect of myself that I'd never done before. But I think when we come back to business, it's, you know, one of the things about love, what does love do? Love allows flow. Love allows safety. Love allows community. Yeah. Love allows the ability to see other and to stand for other as well as yourself. But not just that, you know, as a person that's done neuroscience, basically I've realized that when you're loving someone else in a very general, in this unconditional thing, we have beautiful little nerves in our brain called mirror nerves. And these mirror nerves reflect back to us. And that informs our body how it must change for us. So when we recognize that actually what we project out is this outward projection, it comes back in a reciprocal way. So when you're in business and you are loving what you're doing and you're talking in a way to your business, oh, you know what, let's just do our accounts today. Wouldn't that be so exciting? What happens is you create this beautiful energy that then pulls you to be more happy. You feel safe. You're more likely to make that call. You're more likely to connect. You're more likely to listen in a very, very different way. And you're more likely to negotiate rather than try and have your way. You'll be more collaborative. And so I think that because of the resonance of love is so high, it has a way of really permeating the whole of space. And what it does automatically is it tells other in that moment, you accept me, you see me. And when that happens, people are more likely to negotiate back. They're more likely to listen, and they're more likely to give from themselves.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shireen. I agree with you. If you love something, if you love your business and you love people, sometimes that love, you know, when I met Lisa, she runs a matchmaking institute. I've realized with myself, sometimes if I want to buy a product, if somebody is loving and they love their products and they love people, my heart does not argue with them. I just want to buy what they are selling, and I just want to hang out with them. I remember when she was telling me she had hunted me on LinkedIn. So I met her in London, and she was started, we had a tutor, and then she was coaching us. But she was coaching us, telling us the answers. And then the tutor came and said, okay, I think that's enough now. I know you love these girls and you love them very much. You're going to have to, because what you're doing, you're actually teaching them and telling them the answers as well at the same time. And she was like, But that's what I do. They're already gonna know anyway. So you might as you might as well love somebody and tell them the answers that they're looking for, because I spend years and years researching these answers. So I was like, I love this woman. So thank you so much, Brenda, for that. I'm gonna come to you. Thank you so much, Shireen. I'm gonna come to you. Brenda, I'm gonna come to you, Brenda. So Shireen, it says you have to love what you do and you have to love people that are buying your products. So what does quality skills, is quality and skills relevant to that, or is it not relevant? You just have to worry about love.
Oh, no. Well, you see, all of that will go back to values. And I have to say, you know, I'm loving what both Kamal and Shireen are saying. And, you know, lots of the stuff I'm resonating with. So I'm all about that purpose that Kamal says is more than one purpose. So I was a teacher for 25 years. That was the purpose. And when I was younger, I showed a lot of love for fellow humans. So for example, when I was 10, I raised money for children in Biafra. Now, who tells a 10-year-old to go out and raise money? No one. So that love is there. And there's just, so if what I've realized is I can say, I am divine love. When somebody asks me, who are you? I say, I am love. But I've now added, I am divine love, because I believe we're all connected. We're connected to everything. And that includes God, the universe, source, spirit, whatever it is you believe in. So in what, yes, you have to love yourself, you have to love people, and you have to love your business. So everything, so love just, it absolutely oozes throughout every pore of everything you do. So in terms of quality, when you love and you give yourself, and it's coming, and especially when it's unconditional, yes, quality does come into it, because I'm going to go back to value. So for me, my number one value is integrity, which means no matter what I do, no matter where I do it, no matter who the audience is, whether it's 0 or 100, I will give my best at all times. So therefore, I will give the best with what I've got in that moment, with everything I have, and deliver. So when you deliver with love and what you consider your best, because what one person will consider the best and what someone else, it might not be a match. But will we get into like sort of secular stuff and get away from the spiritual? Because in education and lots of other areas, and I think the coaching world is trying to do that too, we have what we call standards. So, you know, so I used to be an assessor of teachers, so I could go into a classroom and observe teachers and look at the quality of their teaching and the learning for the children. So I would have this table with outstanding, good, and not so good kind of idea, right? You had 4 levels. So you had all these tick boxes. So you could tick, 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 tick away. And then at the end of it, you could go, well, look, they've got 10 in outstanding, they've got 4 in good, they've got 3 in that, and they've got maybe 1 in that. So overall, they're kind of an outstanding practitioner. So we're bringing another element into giving of your best, but it's one way that people can measure, because as humans we like to measure. Well, how good's that? How do you know it's that good? I don't think that's very good. Just take a movie, just take a football game, just take a book. I might like a book, you might hate it. I might like a movie, Kamal might think, oh, that was a load of rubbish, you know? So everything comes from perception. So we go back inside and look at what is our perception. So the other question you need to ask yourself is, well, what is good? What is quality? What makes one business better than another business that's delivering the same thing? And the companies who do the best, guess what? People are at the heart of what they do. So in my business and Book Brilliance Publishing and anything I do, and it doesn't need to just be business, but obviously I am a businesswoman, love is at that center. My customer is at the heart of that center. I love what I do. I'm going to give the best that I can give. I'm going to treat them with the utmost love that I don't like the word deserve because it's a low vibrational word. Let me think of the other word I should be using. But what is their right. You know, it's our right to love ourselves. It's our right for everybody to be loved. So therefore, when it comes to talking about quality in your business and how love matches that, well, I think if you come from a high vibrational place of love, whatever you do will be of that equal quality, because it's who you are. So that's why working on yourself is very, very important into what you deliver. I absolutely believe that 100%. But it's going right back to stripping back and exploring what your values are, your purpose, and who you are. And when you get that right, you will always give quality at all times, and people can see that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brenda.
Oh, sorry, can I just add one thing to that? Because I forgot, this is most important. Actually, people feel it, because we're vibrational energy and the energy is moving. So I talk about how I make people feel. That's more important to me than anything else.
Thank you so
Sorry.
much. Thank you so much. You and Shireen have talked about love, skills, that everything is relevant. And Kamal, now I know how to love my clients, and I have skills to love my clients. My audience will be watching right now, your audience, and they will be saying, okay, now I need to know, Kamal, how do I use my story from my heart to connect with love, to connect with my skills, so I can win, so I can be the best. Take the stage, please.
Thank you, Nomsa. I really love what you were just mentioning, Brenda, like the perception of the quality and love and all of that. That was spot on and beautiful. So how do we take all of that and we show it more to our customers and we live by it? That was the questions, like a little bit paraphrasing here, but right? The idea is to think about the business as a part of you. It's not separate. The idea is to think that the clients are part of you. They're not separate. I used to be a customer success manager, right? And I used to be in customer service and in training. And whenever there was a hard call or a difficult conversation with a client, it was usually because the agent would not accept that client is part of their entity. It's not part of their life. And once you start to understand their perception, what Brenda was talking about, you can start loving them for who they are more and be able to deliver that quality that you want to deliver. But that's one facade of the whole thing. The other facade is that you have to love yourself. The other side of the coin is that you have to understand that everything starts within you. Life itself starts within you. Love starts within you. And that vibrational energy, like Brenda was saying, and Shireen was mentioning as well, it can be sensed. Of course, you have those people that say, oh, yeah, this person has bad energy. Oh, this person has good energy. But it doesn't matter what they say. Do they really feel it, or they just say it because they want to be fancy and they want to be in alignment with whatever coaches and speakers are saying around the world? Now, how does that affect them? Well, that affects them in not being authentic with themselves, which on the other side, on the flip side, it shows people that, okay, this is not, or people that actually feel energy or empaths, they understand that, okay, you know what, this is not real. This is false. So I don't want to be part of that. And you will find most of the people that are aligned with their values, with their beliefs, with their core self, with the love of themselves, for themselves, they will be much more aligned with the universe, with God, with the spirit, whatever you want to call it. And that will add on to what they have in their life and perpetuate it all around them like a ripple effect. One of the important things that one needs to understand is that it's not only that love that matters, because like Shireen was saying in the very beginning, she's that idea of I am God. That's not something foreign. There was a very famous Sufi imam. who at some point he said, "I am God" as well, and they chastised him. They said, "This is blasphemy. You can't say that," and all of that. But it was misinterpreted, because like Shireen was saying, you are creator of the life, because life has been given to you, whether you believe in God or not. Life has been given to you as a gift inside of you to recreate something that is still given to you every second of your life. Every moment that we are spending now, we are being given gifts by Brenda, by you, by Shireen, by the plumber, by the rubbish collector, by everybody around. But are you capable of tuning in and accepting that? Are you capable of accepting that amphora of love and knowledge and gifts, and drink from it in order to perpetuate it? And that's how you perpetuate it. Again, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, but I can't find a better word. This is how you expand on that love and continuously grow within your business, within your purpose, within the things that you love. And you will do even much more. You will find yourself pushing yourself beyond the limits that you have set for yourself, because you have that core center inside of you. That's what I think.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kamal. So Shireen, the question that I'm going to ask you right now is going to make you very, very uncomfortable.
I'm sure it will.
As much as you love your business, as much as you love to succeed, if your business, if you wanted to be a billionaire or a millionaire, like to make millions, not just 1 million, to actually, for people to actually look up to you and say, how do you do the things that you do because of the success that you are? But the question now is, where you need to go, you don't have the skills. Would you step down as a CEO and replace yourself?
That's a really tricky question. Because that's a brilliant question. It's a brilliant question, because there are a couple of things. If you're creating a company, I'm guessing, this is my thinking, and I'm just going to project myself in that company. I would imagine that when you start, and if you know most big companies, what they do is once you build your company, you start to bring people in, or you float it on the stock exchange, or you do something. You actually don't own that company anymore, depending on whether you've kept the 50% or not. But what will often happen is that you would hold that 51%, but you would have some safeguard that if the company was unstable, that it could be that other people could step in. So I'm guessing that there are a couple of things that come up for me is what was your intention for building that company in the first place? And what's the legacy that you choose to leave? And actually, where do you want to move away from your company once the company has done and flourished? So I'm thinking of the idea that, and it's a simple analogy, but I do believe that it takes on a personality. And in essence, when we're born, we are a cell that's born to create and to emerge, to expand. Yeah, that's us. That's kind of like what the soul within us wants us to be. So it wants us to be out there and showing the world who we are, and at the same time, allowing everybody else to expand themselves. So that's that two-way reciprocity. But then you have a building you build, or a business you build. This is a part of you. It starts from inside you. So it has equal space and an equal desire to emerge. And in essence, it actually, and from my perspective, yes, it would be a real thing like watching a mother having a child grow, and then it wants to say, nah, I want to move on. And you go, no, you've got to stay with me. That's not what the companies do. If a company is going to expand and emerge, we have to recognize there's going to be a time when we're going to have to let it go and let it run on its own. Let it run on its own. We either give it to someone else to own, I mean, I know Warren Buffett has left lots of his things to Bill Gates. So guess what? We know that that's a prime person that's done that. But it is about really paying attention beforehand. Where would be the point where we let go of the company? Where do we stop parenting because now it's grown enough and it's not so much attached to our ego and who we are, but it's now got a personality of its own. And that's the legacy. That's the legacy. And so we're creating from self, but we are creating a legacy. And so if we start thinking about it in that term, I would imagine, and certainly from my point, is I would want to let go of it because I would want that legacy to run on. And I know that I would probably limit it if I didn't do that. It might be a bit hard because it'll be like a mother letting go of a child, empty nest syndrome, but you would move on with something else, wouldn't you? You'd move into a new purpose, a new mission.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shireen. I agree with you. Basically, if you love something, you're going to have to make some lovely choices, painful choices to be able to succeed in life. You can stay. For me, I hire the brains. I have a coach in my life. Everyone keeps saying, why do you need a coach? I have a coach in my life because I don't just hire anyone. And mostly I don't work with it. When it comes to women, sorry guys, I don't work with women. I need men. The reason why I need men, if I screw up, they don't have time to feel sorry for me. They tell me as it is, and for me to get on with things. So that's why my business coach is a man. And I know that if I screw up or there's a time where I've been on stage singing and the Des is telling me that I need to go on stage and talk about my business as a CEO, and I'm panicking. And he says, no, son, look at me in the eye, pack it up. Pack it. You've been on stage before. You know what you need to do. And when you go on stage, okay, speaking about business, you know what you need to do. But what do you do different when you are singing and when you are talking to people? What do you do different when you are focusing? And I was like, oh, wow, you make a point. Okay, I was like, go. And then when I went in, I knew that it was my first time on stage. I knew I was the CEO. I need to speak about the company. And actually, I won the audience because after I finished, people wanted to know what I do and how they can come in and join the agency. But at the time, I was shitting myself. I was panicking. I was really, really panicking. And I was like, I don't want, and he was like, pack it right now. You know what you're doing. You know what you can do. So right now, Brenda, I'm going to come to you. Now I've made a decision. I love myself. I love my company. What next? Now, when you're open to love, what is next?
Well, you see, our life and our story can shape us. Yeah. And you're saying you need a man in order to get it done because a woman brings another essence. Well, so I'm currently, like, we've always got coaches or mentors or something. We should always be working because we're growing and we need the people who've got that experience, who've achieved those successes that we're aspiring to. So for me, yesterday, in terms of looking at the Brenda Dempsey brand, for me, it's like, wake up, see the vision and just get it done. Stop with the excuses. I'm a no excuses lady. If I can be homeless with 4 children, get a degree, look after 6 parents, etc., 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 coming from a very disadvantaged background, you bloody well can do it too. You see, so there's that side of me. I don't always show that side of me. And maybe it's time for me to show that side of me because I show the very loving, empathetic side of me. But yet this morning I had, I'm working with a girl on doing some children's books. She's an illustrator. And she said to me, do you know what? Since I've worked with you, she says, you just say it as it is. You just tell me you're blunt. You're to the point. And do you know what? I respect you for that, because you're right. And I know you're saying it with love. So you can be blunt. So you can have coaches who will just tell you, look, just go on with it, stop it. You've done it before. You're making excuses. Right. What is the next step you've got to do? Exactly the next step. And just go and get it done. So for me, it's get it done. I help you see it, what's most important, and make it happen. I've got a charity and everything. How did I know I would ever end up with all this stuff and be responsible for it? I didn't choose it. The universe chose me to be that leader. So I now know I'm a leader of leaders, because I have that vision, because I've come along that path. I've got all this love. I've done all the work. And I've got to step into that. I'm sitting here listening to Shireen there, and I'm nearly crying, because I'm absolutely terrified, because I've got a big glass ceiling to break through, because I've got a responsibility. I'm helping other people grow. I've got to step into my next skin. And it is frightening me, because I like where I am just now, and I know my power. And I know the difference I make in people's lives. I know how I change lives. I know how I empower people, enable them. But to go the next step, like you're saying, to become a millionaire and a billionaire, not just one millionaire, but somebody that's got millions of pounds, that scares the life out of me, because there's a responsibility. We've not spoken about responsibility. And all of what we're talking about, there is a responsibility, because people talk about, oh, I've got a right for this, I've got a right for free speech, I've got a right for all of that. Yes, you have. But is it imbued with love? And are you taking responsibility for what you're saying, so that you're not being offensive to other people? So it's really, so for me, that's how I talk to myself. Just get it done. So when I have days where I'm going, oh, I'm tired, or whatever, I just go, just forget about that. Put that behind you. That's the human side of you coming in. But I want to live by spirit. So let me tell you what that looks like. So yesterday I sat at my desk at 6:15, and I didn't finish till 9:20 last night, and I wasn't tired. Now I should be exhausted. So why was I not tired? Because I was channeling and flowing in my spirit. Why am I not exhausted today? But you do have to ground yourself. You do have to ground yourself. So make sure you ground yourself in between. Make sure you're giving gratitude. Make sure you're getting out in nature and walking. Make sure you're doing things to ground yourself. Because I know when I'm channeling and I'm up here with too much, oh my God, my head's buzzing, and I'm like, oh, I've got to come back down to earth. So it's about living like this, harmonizing it. Try not to get manic. Bit hard to do, but so try and have it more like waves and not spikes. So when you live in that way, your energy just it's who you are. It's that divine. It's infinite. It's limitless. But we're human. We're in a human body, so sometimes the body finds it too much, But it's scary when you actually open the door and you start to understand yourself. That is scary, because you can start to see you've got a big responsibility. You've got a big job to do, and that's scary. And for me, that's where I am right now, because I can see my growth. I can feel it, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do next? So you go and you seek help. You ask for help, and you accept that you've got that role, and just do whatever it is you've got to do next. And if you don't know, that's all right, because the universe will give you a door to walk through. It will bring you the person you need to talk to. Yesterday, I had 3 coaching sessions. Who'd have thought? I didn't even know I was going to have one. Well, I did know I was going to have one, but 2 of them came out of the blue.
Thank you so much.
That answered the question, but it felt right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brenda. I love when you say you have to actually love what you do and get on with it. I get up. Yesterday, I had a 1-hour nap in the day, like around 3, because I get up at 4 a.m. And since I've been up yesterday, I was on the go. Then I can feel my body, and I was like, I've been up on the go for a long time, and I've done so much. And I wanted to do some talks on YouTube, and I was like, I can do that later. I need to sit down and think about myself. So I said to my daughter, would you mind if I sit next to you? And she was like, go on then. So I just sat next to her, and I find myself falling asleep. And I was like, that means I've been doing the hard work. I've been up since 4. I've done everything that needed to be done. So thank you so much, Kamal. When somebody who is watching right now, when you start your business, you have to create 2 separate roles for yourself. One as a business owner or as an investor, and the other one is the manager. So can you actually explain to our audience how can they go about that and the mindset that they need to have that?
Okay. Well, the mindset is very similar to that first question that you, or that previous question that you asked Shireen, is that would you step down of being a CEO if it were to happen? And I was thinking about it, and I said, of course I would step down, because I don't, as much as I am the CEO of my own, of my company, I don't call myself a CEO. I call myself a head of coach, because I know I don't have the skills of the CEO. I know I don't call myself the marketing advisor or chief executive marketing, or whatever the title is. I can't remember now, because I don't have these skills. But what I do have is coaching skills, is in speaking, and is in providing the creative ideas. So that I can do. So when I do that, I am totally this. And then, of course, because sometimes in the beginning, you might have it rough. You don't have the economy to spend on marketing and advertisement. You don't have the economy to hire somebody to help you out with certain things. So you have to take on that different hat, right? And whether you like it or not, you have to put it on, because that's the way it will grow. So you put on that hat and you do your best, however it may be. You don't have to really, now I'm going to go a little bit against the flow here. You don't really have to love doing it. But here's a but, which negates everything. You can find something within it that is related to your talent, to your skill, to your passion in life, that you absolutely love. And just that thought, just that mindset of, oh, I'm doing this because of that, will help you move forward and allow you to do that job that you despise.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when you to separate. But we all have these different hats. As a father, I wear my hat as a father, even though I wear my hat as a father and an NLP coach, because I'm teaching my kids NLP. They're 6 and 4, because I want them to become better people. I want them to understand their emotions. I want them to be warm and outspoken and alive. And I live in Norway, and lovely people, very interesting, but they don't have that passion. I don't see that passion. I've got nothing against it. A lot of people have passion here. A lot of people are doing jobs, but I see that dead life. You wake up, you go to work, you finish work, you come back home, you have the kids, you do the cooking, you have dinner, you sit down, you do a little bit of housework, whether it's the man or the woman, and you go to bed. What is your purpose in life? Just to make the kids, just to raise your kids? They're not yours. The kids are not yours. They're a gift for you to take care of. Teach them.
Beautiful.
Teach them. Take time to teach yourself. So wear these different hats. Wear the hat of the marketeer. Wear the hat of the CEO. Wear the hat of the CFO. Whatever it is that you can find in your life, in that particular business, that can relate even remotely to a hint of one of your passions or talents. Do it. That's how I create my my posts. I absolutely despise like marketing myself and advertising, because I'm not good at it. And I would love to hire somebody and say, you know what, take my money and just do it. But you know what I found? I found the love that I have in it, which is creating content, which is thinking outside and making something for other people so that they can help themselves. And that's what helps me to have that marketing hat. That's what helps me to have the advertisement hat. That's what helps me to have the, all right, well, now I have to be a very business oriented and I need to calculate what's happening. That's helps me to have my my finances in order. But you need to be able to accept all of these roles. This comes back to purpose in life as well, because we have different roles in our life. There are roles that we want, roles that we have been given, and roles that we don't want to have, but we still carry them on. The choice, as I always say, is always yours. You get to choose what role you want to keep in your life, what role you want to discard, and what role you want to change. And it all starts with you, not anybody else, not anyone's approval, and not the validation of the world. That's how you play these roles in your life, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kamal. I love when you say children are not ours. And we basically, you have to have a passion. You have to have something. Like if you love something, like if people go to work, and I used to be one of them. I go to work, I do this. Like when I played the football, I loved my life. I go and play football and I hang out with my friends. I don't drink, I don't smoke, but they'll drink, they're smoking, I'm having fun, I'm talking to my friends. And to me, that was life. And I tried to get a day-to-day job, 9 to 4 jobs for 1 year. And I was like, no, this is not for me. The screaming and the shouting when the staff are frustrated, they can't get things done and the manager's ignoring them, the company's ignoring them, they get frustrated. And I was like, this is not for me now. I'm not going to do this. I'm a fun person. I love to do things with passion. So I was like, no, thank you. So Shireen, this is the last question right now because it's it's 1 o'clock. Now you build your company's grown, you put all the long hours. We were talking about the long hours. How can you actually enjoy your hard work? Some people don't enjoy their hard work, they're miserable. So how do you actually celebrate you and enjoy your hard work?
Well, I think that, thank you. It's a challenging one. Firstly, just to say, Kamal, that's something, the idea that children are not yours. I used to tell every one of the mothers that from the time they came in,
they're not mine.
I worked as a midwife and a gentle birth specialist, and I would always say to them, they are the gift. Yes, they are biologically yours, but they're not yours because they are thinking people of their own. So it's lovely to hear that. I think so coming back to the question that you've asked there, Nomsa, because it's 1 o'clock. Really, I think it's maybe understanding why you have your business. Part of having that business is because you ultimately want freedom. You want freedom to be able to live life and have joy. Yeah. So by having more and more money, incredibly, the more responsibility you have, the greater freedom you should have in a way, because now you're getting other people in so that you can build and you can have that spare time. So obviously, the more you have, the more you should have in effort, freedom. That's why you build a business. But the thing happens is when you get hooked and attached to the business as only yours, and you forget that you built the business for other. That was why the business was built in the first place. Business relies on people, and people are the asset. Yeah. So the business is just the framework or the structure for those people to bring value within that business. So really, it's about understanding that as a person that's doing the business, you're growing the business for the one purpose, so that you will have freedom. And so therefore, start every day looking for something that is going to make you feel free, that's going to make you feel that it's worthwhile doing this hard work. make sure you go and do the things that make you happy. Yeah. Because if you don't happen at the end of the day, I know you worked till 9 o'clock the other night, and Brenda also working very, very late. As long as you come back there and you go, yes, this is worth it. I'm happy what I did. And I can now go and have that damn nice massage that I want. You automatically give worth to what you're doing. But also another thing which Kamal said, which is really important, and I think is we need to go into everything with enthusiasm, because the moment we go into it with enthusiasm, it's like, I love Mary Poppins. It'll show how old I am. But it's always like in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's again. And then every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake. A lark esprit, there's everything to see. So if we look within that job, there's something there that, really makes me spark up. Focus there first, so that all of a sudden the job is done before you've even known that you were even there. So I think that's a really important key for doing this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shireen. So basically, I'm closing by asking you guys a very, very important questions. Brenda, our beliefs, they carry the consequences. So in business. So how do we make sure that our beliefs, they align with what we do in business?
Well, so I love that. Actually, Shireen, before I answer my question quickly, Shireen, did you play that part at all in amateur dramatics? My God, you've got the best down there, part. I could just hear her saying it, Julie Roberts. So mindset, and I love that, and your beliefs. Okay, so on your path, on the journey, you might start off with limiting beliefs. And when you work with other people and you read and you learn and you start to shed the old beliefs and replace them with new beliefs born out of experience, new habits, achievements, then and the love, let's bring it back to love. So when you come back into that love, the beliefs that are around the love are aligned with love. So therefore, those beliefs are limitless. They're limitless. Everything's possible. So when you've done all that work, that becomes the belief. It becomes the belief. So it's like every step, I love life. So the word love is always in my vocabulary. I told you I am divine love. I love life. I love people. And now I can add I love myself. It wasn't always the case. Absolutely no way. I used to hate myself, and that's a strong word. But when I went through what I went through, I often asked myself, how could I allow this to happen to myself? And I never ever thought of self-love. It wasn't something that you grew up talking about. Whereas today, we talk about it. I know my own children with my grandchildren, they know about love and loving themselves, because there's a thing that I call osmology. And when you live your life, and I'm sure both Kamal and Shireen will know this, when you live a life a certain way, that energy is so transferable. I now watch, my children used to not ridicule me in a bad way, but they used to make fun and go, oh, Mum, you're this and that, because I had these big visions and these big dreams. But guess what? My children walk in my footsteps. Number one, I've got 4 kids. 3 of them are teachers. I was a teacher for 25 years. My children give love. If you see my children in the posts, they are just oozing love for themselves, their family, their siblings, each other. My job's done. I can give my children as a gift to the world. But I only realise that now because of the journey I've been on. Didn't realise it at the time. So they're just doing it because in their subconscious, they're taking on what their mum is doing and other great people around them. So they see that. So yes, it's having fun. Everything should have an element of fun. Everything should have a celebration. Look, I have this sitting on my desk. Every time I'm flying, we do that. I've got another thing out there. I've got a little drum. It's a Zen drum. We play that. when we have a celebration, just do a wee happy dance like this in your chair. You know, just know, yes, I've done it. Yeah, great. Somebody else's life. I've made somebody else's life better. I've opened up possibilities for them. They've got a book in their hand. I mean, I just don't publish books. I do a lot more than that besides, but they've got a book in their hand. One of my clients that I went to Malawi with, she turned around and said to me, you know, Brenda, you've made a dream come true. And that was not that long ago. It's only a few months ago. And now I understand I make dreams come true. I thought, oh my God, people are telling me I'm making dreams come true. So it's up to me now to believe it, because I didn't think it, wasn't thinking that way.
Yeah.
When you get that feedback, you've got to go, God, I make dreams come true. And it's not true just for one person. It's true for many, you know? So just exactly, I echo these guys. I just love it. You know, love life, love yourself. It's all about love. Have fun along the way. The biggest thing we haven't talked about, but we'll come back and talk about it, that's an inner child. My inner child's out all the time. You see it in my face. You know, just be playful. Yes, sometimes I'm serious, but not often. I like to smile, as you can see. I like to be the child. Childlike, not childish, two different things. You know? So just see life like that. See it as a journey. See it as a game. Get in the game. You know, what persona are you taking on? You know? Be who you want to be. Be true. Be authentic to yourself, because that is really who you are. And you know, we started with that away at the beginning. And for me, that's the secret. That's the secret of life. Just love life, love yourself. It's borrowed. You're here to do a job and legacy. Because when I work with people, it's about the journey, the philosophy, and the legacy. The golden thread. I think Shireen talked about threads. We do that exercise. So just love life. Just have fun. What's the alternative? I tell you what, I don't want to be miserable. So I'd rather smile and have fun. And just that. Sometimes I'm sure people think they're crazy, but I don't care. I'd rather be crazy in the way that I am crazy, in terms of I love everybody and I'm kind and compassionate, empathetic, all of that. So yeah, just love life, have fun, and don't take it so seriously. And I want to tell one last wee story. Sorry, I know we should be finishing, but I want to tell one wee story because people would think, no, it's all right for you to say that. No, I came from a very lowly background, but I want to tell this story. My father was dying on his deathbed, and me and my 3 siblings, so there's 4 of us, were sitting around that bed. And, you know, we could have been like, oh, wail. Inside we were dying ourselves inside. We were breaking apart. But I knew my father loved music. So I started singing. We all sang for my father on his deathbed. And even though he couldn't breathe, he was trying to give a thumbs up, he was trying to smile. And the priest came in to give him the last rites, and he just looked at us as if we were all mad. But you know what? That made my father's heart sing. So even in the darkest moment, you can find something. You can find a light. You can find something to take you out of reveling in the pain.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shireen. Brenda, I agree with you that dancing moment, you have to learn to dance. Yeah, even if you are in the darkest moment, you have to learn to celebrate you. And just before coronavirus, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. I joined, there's a business event that I go to. It's not cheap, it's very, very expensive. So the guy said to me, would you like to renew your membership? I was like, yes, I would like to renew my membership. So after I said yes, then they were announced coronavirus. They were not able to go and visit the places. So I assume that he's going to put everything on hold. And then when everything goes back, that's when we're going to pay. So a few months ago, I get a big bill. He's suing me, he's taking me to court. So I'm actually dancing. I'm like, wow, his bill is gone big and he's going to take me to court. And I was like, wow, this is so big. And I showed the bill to my daughter's father, and he was like, okay. So he tried to have a look, and he was like, you know what? Namsa, I know you don't like fighting, and I know you don't like to argue the things that I'm going to tell you to take steps further to this, do this. It's not going to help you. I know you're not going to do it anyway. So I will pay this bill. And he paid the bill to the guy's lawyers. And but he continued sending me emails to say, would you like to join us again? And I was like, I don't think so. I danced through the pain. I went through the pain. You put me through the pain. You showed me that money is more important than everything, because we went through coronavirus. There was no way for me to come in and attend this event. So, and I was dancing in pain. And when I received the billers, I was like, God, whatever will be, will be. And so thank you so much for that. Kamal, for your business to be able to successful, like you right now, your business, everything to be able to successfully, you have learned to write your own song. You have learned to write your story. You have learned to actually embrace that pain through your pain, through what you've been through. That's what all this business that you've created are about. For people to buy your products, they have to connect, they've learned to connect with your pain. And for you, the people that we around you, we accepted your pain, and we see that you're passionate about your pain, and that pain has created a business and a story. Somebody who is watching right now, I'm going to end with you because we run out of time. How can they hold their pain and write their own story and dance with it, like Brenda is saying it, even if they're in the darkest moment?
Well, I'm going to use the analogy of Shireen and when I have fun, and Brenda's as well. I have a magic wand that I use with my clients. That's one of the fun things that I do with Brenda, like Brenda. But there's another thing that's very important that Shireen mentioned when she mentioned about Mary Poppins. And I would tell you, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You have to have fun. It doesn't matter. This is something that is in your way. And it's not in your way to stop you. It's just there for you to get over it, to teach you how to get over it. There's a message behind it. It's nothing bad. There's nothing in this world that is bad. Everything is for your best interest, even as painful as it is. Death of loved ones, suffering of the diseases and illnesses, all of that is still for your benefit, even though you may not see it, and even though you might think I'm insensitive, but it isn't. And I will finish like I usually do with a quote, since we're talking about love. And this quote is from Oscar Wilde. I think he said, let me remember, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. And that's the way you get on through life, whether it's business or in personal life. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Kamal. For those who are watching, please follow us on our social media, YouTube, Instagram, the speakers. You can take the speakers' names and find them on Instagram, find them on LinkedIn. They're on LinkedIn, they're on Facebook, and just follow them because you can learn from them. When you follow somebody, you connect with them, and it makes it easier for you when you want to actually pick up that phone call and get in touch with them, because you relate to their story, you relate to their post when they post things. So please, and share our videos. We are on YouTube now, so you can go and share our videos as well on YouTube. And if you want to get in touch with any of these speakers, please do through Nkositalkshows page. Live with grace, everyone. We'll be with you tomorrow, 1 p.m. UK time. Live with grace, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.